The power sector has been in the news in recent times even more than before. In February 2016, there was a peaceful protest in Ibadan, Oyo State, by the employees after they say 1,000 of them were wrongfully disengaged. A similar scenario took place in Lagos State when workers of Ikeja Distribution Company PLC, backed by the National Union of Electricity Employees, downed tools in protest of an alleged sack of 400 workers, although the employees say there were 223 without following due process.
A company is operating without rules of engagement between the employer and the employee. No condition of service, no procedural agreement. And then all of a sudden, they decided to sack workers on an assumed proficiency test or whatever, or efficiency test, which were challenging that it never happened. And the laws in this land doesn't permit you to sack even more than 10 workers without negotiating with their representatives with the union.
If they think we did not follow the right procedure, they should go to court. This country, we have an industrial court. That is why if something has been done by an employer, and the employee is not happy, go to court now. You have an option. Because they will find out that they sign a contract which makes it very clear how much notice you will be given, how much you will be paid if they need to pay you off, and all those were done by Ikeja Disco.
While the figures are still in contention, the reason for the disengagement is also being argued.
Ours is a specialized industry. For instance, we have people that we call distribution staff. Those are people that climb pole. If you are very fat and very unfit, you cannot be fit for that kind of job. So if you've been on the job for a long time, like 25 years, and you've never had promotion, and you are so fat that the tendency or the risk of you falling down is there, we're in a very safety critical industry. You may be reassigned or posted or, depending on what you are. So in the case of Ikeja conducted a competency-based assessment. That competency-based assessment also led to the disengagement of 223 staff.
If you give me a target that I must make 400 million, are you with me? And if I'm to make 400 million and there's no power supply to the areas I cover, I'm telling you I will not even make 1 million. Now those are the people they sacked, the people they gave targets and there's no power supply. Or in a community there is no transformer and you give somebody a target and you say it is a key performance indicator that the person must cover this number of customers. You ask me to cover 2,000 customers because the number of staff have reduced and I can only cover even 1,000 even if I work day and night for 30 days. Now how do you look at such evaluation?
The discos defend their decision by reeling out the positive steps they've also taken towards empowering the staff.
70 staff were promoted, 40 new engineers were employed, young graduates. They were sent to NAPTIN for training. They have graduated. These are the upcoming future engineers that will really take the sector to the next level, just as Benin Disco has done.
All these good things now they are telling you they are doing. If they are doing it, how come it that the situation has not improved? Or they want to start doing it now? So if they want to start doing it now, good luck. But I'm telling you, as at the day they sacked these people, there was no training given to them, no retraining, nothing. They just woke up and sacked them.
The rift led to blackouts in Lagos for about 2 days, leading to the question of the level of powers of the union in operations of the private sector.
In government establishments, it may be given. Jobs there enjoy statutory flavor. It's like you can't sack a public servant. A public servant must retire at this age, whatever. Those ones are by statute enshrined. Where you need unions is in the private sector because the individuals there, they don't hear any language than profit. And because of that, they violate a lot of rules. Some of them evade tax. They don't pay tax. They don't observe safety standards. Part of our protest was the rate at which people were dying. A student died in Unilag here some months back on electrocution. I'm talking of beyond those that work in the sector. And just 3 weeks ago, that of a solar, people were electrocuted because there were no safety materials for them to work with.
And even though jobs should be protected, the DISCO say some situations which even the union know would lead to drastic actions.
We do have staff that during the course of their duty, they've been found wanting, either doing practicing unwholesome activities out there, like taking money from customers to provide services that ordinarily should have been provided. So we don't take that one lightly. So any of the staff cuts will be summarily dismissed. We don't even need consultation with union to do that, because when we came in, we did a lot of reorientation and paradigm shift, so that for those staff that were brought in from the legacy period, so everybody is aware of what you have to do, because customer service is very key.
There are other issues in the sector, some of which have been celebrated, such as the removal of fixed charges by the federal government, but the opposite for the continuous existence of estimated billings.
It doesn't pay the DISCOs to have estimated billing. It's a lot of problem, because every month you have to go into a hall to look at the availability of supply to areas by area, because you don't just bill arbitrarily. You have to look at availability of supply on transformers, on line, on feeders, and so on. Look at similar, customers in area where this customer with estimated billing are, before you can now come up with your billing. That's billing methodology.
There's also the new tariff, which is about 45% higher and has generated a huge noise from Nigerians and the Union of Electricity Employees alike. The DISCO split with Nigerians to accept the new charges, as lack of it could lead to disengagement of thousands of their employees in the bid to cut overhead costs.
When we came in, we met a dilapidated network. And part of the agreement signed with BP was that there will be cost-reflective tariff on day one. It was not to be. We didn't have cost-reflective tariff on day one, because you cannot continue to do business when you are not covering your cost. We are not even talking of profit. To cover your cost, if you are spent, cost of production is 1,000 naira, and you are selling at 600, 700 naira. That's bad business. There's a limit to which you can go before you get file for bankruptcy. And banks then, they were not ready to give money to any power, because they can't see, your cash flow. Your cash flow does not support that. So now that we have this tariff, I think things will be better.
Of all the money that we collect, only 25% belong to the DISCO. 11% goes to the Transmission Company of Nigeria. 60% of that tariff, the new tariff, the 60% of it goes to the generation companies, because they also have to pay the gas suppliers. And of course, 4% go to the other stakeholders, including NERC, our regulator. And we're a very heavily regulated industry. Both our regulator, NERC, and of course, BP are looking upon our shoulder, making sure that we do the right thing in the right way. And I'm assuring Nigerians that things will get better. They just need to be patient. Like I said, it's a journey, a very long journey. So there's no way you can talk about destination at the beginning of the journey.